Do you have a tendency to get offended by what people say? Or do you have a tendency to get frustrated when other people get so easily offended? This video, I'm going to be talking about a very interesting topic, the cosmic joker, and why this is such a needed concept and archetype in our reality, and the benefits of how the cosmic joker can help all of us heal through kind of triggering us and pissing us off just a little bit. My name is Adam. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get started, I'm doing free breakthrough calls. There is a link pinned in the description below. These are 30-minute calls where we will go over your vision for your life, what's stopping you, and the steps you can take to call in the life of your dreams. The cosmic joker is something that I would say mildly obsessed with, partially because it's a very large part of my higher nature. Since I was a kid, I have been very careful not to bother anybody. I've fallen into people-pleasing patterns. I've wanted everybody to like me. I've been kind of serious and heavy, and it's always driven me nuts. And it's something I have aspired to sort of like break apart in my own evolution. I've always dreamed of being somebody who just didn't give a fuck at all. Not from a place of like, fuck you and I'm an asshole, but just from a place of like liberation and freedom. Does this make sense? Do you resonate or relate to this at all? And one of the things that I find so interesting in our society today is how much we actually need this archetype to fucking heal. Because what has happened and what is happening is in this sort of hypersensitive climate where we are aiming all of the time to never bother anybody else, what we're doing is a couple things. One, we're becoming people pleasers. We're not allowing ourselves to be our own authentic voice. We're afraid of speaking up. We're afraid of saying what we feel. But worse than that is people are subtly, and I wouldn't even say subtly, being trained to project everything onto their environment. They're abdicating all personal responsibility in every way, shape, and form, and they are taking every emotional reaction they have and putting it on somebody else, which is the most disempowering thing you can do. We are literally programming people to go around tattling and telling to some authority figure every single time they feel sad. This destroys people. It destroys their power. It destroys their authenticity. It destroys their individuality, and it turns them into complete and utter victims. It is the most anti-spiritual thing you can do. Because the essence of spirituality, okay, is everything is a reflection of the internal. And the way that you heal anything, the way you heal the external, the way you heal anything at all, is to heal your internal nature. But when everybody else is responsible for you, you have no power. You have no healing capabilities. You are a fucking victim, desiccated fly in a spider's web. You will never create what you want. You will never have aligned relationships. You will never be able to stand up for yourself. You will never have the courage to speak. You will never have any inner authority whatsoever because it's being trained out of you. If every time you say something, I get hurt and it's your fault, where's my power? It's nowhere. I don't have any. We have no control whatsoever on external circumstances. All we can control is our own responses and reactions. And if you want like to read the ultimate antidote, like of all time, to the victim complex, I would recommend Man's Search for Meaning, because anybody who reads that and walks away with their victim complex intact is a fucking total sociopath and insane. That man went through absolute hell in every conceivable way, Viktor Frankl, and came out the other side saying exactly that. Sometimes the only power we have is in our own responses and reactions, and we need to keep that power no matter what. Okay? Now, how does this tie into the cosmic joker? Well, because in order to master ourselves, we need some different traits. Discernment, the ability to understand our emotions, manage our emotional nature, understand what our intention is. And when everything is everybody else's fault, we never develop these abilities. We never can really sense like where we're coming from, what we really mean, or how to respond. How in what way is our response up to us? How can we navigate that emotional landscape? How can we change our beliefs, our reactions to the world around us, and take control of ourselves so that we have authenticity, clarity, inner peace, joy, love, and all of these things? If everybody else is responsible, we can never do that. And the cosmic joker comes in a couple different ways. One, it shakes people up. It shakes people up and it snaps them out of that sort of mundane, normal, rote, repetitive sort of place in the brain and in the matrix that we all operate from. I was watching a Tony Robbins documentary the other day, and he knows this, he understands this. He will use curse words, he will yell at people to shock them, he will say things that are very taboo, and he does it with a very strong, very aligned intentionality, because he knows what it does is it like jars the subconscious, and it jars the people's like pattern and their trance state like loose, and then they can process through it and heal. Now, it helps that he is truly trying to help people get better, and he's there to resolve like the things that come up afterward. But it is so important. It is so important to have comedy and things that kind of offend people. Now, of course, we don't want things that are blatantly and truly racist. Of course not. I mean, I'm not talking about like true racists. But we do want things that make you question, where is that coming from? That shake you up, that make you look at like, why did I get triggered there? How can I take control of how I got triggered and dissolve it within me? And what does that person really mean? It's not up to me to determine and tell them what they mean, because I don't actually know. So why don't I develop curiosity or, a better form of communication? Why don't I sit down and ask, hey, what did you mean by that? Where were you coming from? Instead of just assuming and presuming and projecting and blaming carte blanche. How else is the cosmic joker benevolent and much needed? Well, I kind of covered it a little bit already, but we tend to take life way too seriously. We take ourselves way too seriously. And that's where those, like, I can't believe my feelings got a little bit hurt, it's all your fault reactions sort of come from. You're taking life too fucking seriously. It's just a game. It's just a game. We're all one at the end. We're all love at the end. And in order to live in a more lighthearted world, in order to live in a more peaceful, joyful, like interconnected, we're all one sort of world, the ego, okay, our preconceived ideas about things, our seriousness, our heaviness, all of that stuff sometimes needs to be just grabbed and rattled loose. So all these things sort of like get knocked out of place, and then we can sift through it and resolve it. It's where you're coming from that matters. It's not what's said. It's where you're coming from. You can say anything that you want and you're not sexist, racist, whatever it is, if deep inside you truly aren't. Now, I wouldn't say blatantly horrible things, like anywhere I go. Of course I wouldn't, because I do take other people's feelings into account and I care about them. And if I know it's like going to be really offensive and mean, I wouldn't do that. But we're like way too sensitive at this point. And there is a very high level of value to that service. So I just wanted to bring this up a little bit. I'd like you to let me know what you think in the comments as far as the cosmic joker archetype is concerned, as far as what you think about people who go a little bit far and push the envelope and shake people up. And I want you to also mention, like, what are your thoughts on other people determining where someone else is coming from? Does anybody ever really know? No. But what do you think? And here's another question. If you don't know yourself, because you spend all your time projecting your emotions outward and blaming, How are you ever going to know where someone else is coming from? It's a universal law that you can't actually understand what's external if you don't understand what's internal, because it's all a reflection of you. It's all your projection. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comment section below. I have a free energy clearing you can download in the description. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you so much. Peace.